Sam. Morning, and thank you for allowing us to be part of the event this morning. I'm David Gowans, or DG. I am head of Barclays Games and Esports. What that means is at Barclays, we have a long tradition of supporting industries and helping them grow. At Barclays, I lead the activity around games and esports activity around the group. And we've been working with the industry, particularly creative industries, for decades now. And as Sam said, over the last 18 months, partnering with Yuki to really look at how we can do more in the game space. It's been fantastic to learn from everyone within the industry and Yuki and work through hub crawls and the activity that we've been doing with industry to help it move forward. And with our activity, it's really important that we are looking to support all businesses within the games space. So from small entrepreneur and startup, where we have our Eagle Labs and our business building programs, to large international corporate activity across the globe. So for us at Barclays, we're really keen to support in any way we possibly can. And you can connect with us and find out a little bit more by going to our website, games.barclays, or connecting with us over Twitter at Barclays Games, or emailing us at games@barclays, which will come directly to me and the team. But I'm a bit of a hype man this morning. It's not my talk. I'm going to pass over to one of our experts, Tim Glennon, who will, I guess, Tim, introduce yourself and talk a little bit about our support in the sector.
Thanks, DG. Well, never believe the hype, but delighted to be here. Thanks to Sam and to Yuki for the chance to spend some time with this audience, and privileged to be part of this illustrious panel. I'm Tim Glennon. I'm a business development director with International Corporate Banking. I'm based in Hong Kong, and I look after clients across the APAC region. I'm just going to take a few moments just to provide a little bit of a backdrop on how we see UK-China trade in the gaming industry. I'll briefly introduce Barclays in the region. I think a lot of our audience is probably pretty familiar with Barclays in the UK, but perhaps just to share a brief insight to the work we do in the region, and maybe touch on some of the ways I think we can help. So I'm sure there's no need, I don't need to convince anyone on this call of how exciting the opportunity is, but I do just want to highlight some of the positive themes that I think we can attach to and be encouraged by. So again, I'm sure it's kind of well appreciated, but gaming was already taking an increasing share of the entertainment space, even pre-pandemic. But the kind of drive around lockdown has leaving gaming as one of the kind of few bright spots from a business performance perspective, as people increasingly look to gaming as a way to be entertained, but also to connect and to stay social despite all of the confines around lockdown. So just to mention, in a recent report from the Limelight network, State of Gaming in 2021 showed that time spent online globally across respondents increased by 14% year on year. And I'm sure some of that's people spending more time, but also new entrants coming into the sector, and hopefully some of that sustains even as, we're all really looking forward to lockdown confines and personal freedoms coming back. China, in particular, in the same report, is called out as the country with the highest average time spent, over 12 hours per week amongst respondents. And it's also, as Sam mentioned at the top, a market with fantastic demographics, largest games market in the world, mobile adoption kind of through the roof. So it's a market that absolutely can't be ignored. In terms of some of the government initiatives, things like creation of the Greater Bay Area and connectivity, providing access to markets, as well as more generally just the response to the pandemic, meaning that China's really leading the world in terms of going back to work, are all very promising for the long-term dynamics within the industry, for long-term demand. Barclays research specifically looks for a decent year for the gaming industry in China, principally led by a strong pipeline of new game releases, particularly coming out of the majors. Just turning briefly to the UK, my original home before coming to Hong Kong, we see global exports for the UK tracking at around 45 billion, and it's been kind of around about that number since April last year, when lockdown really took hold. But many economists are calling for a return to the previous peak back in 2019, around 65 billion, that's pounds, I should say, pounds per month, and that we could see those levels as early as 2022. Barclays recently released a Made in Britain report, and that highlighted three kind of key drivers, being government support from finance, but also really positive sentiment around the quality of UK goods driving export success. Just to give you some numbers on that, of the roughly 10,000 global consumers surveyed, 36% said that they had been and are buying more goods from the UK than they were 5 years ago, against only 15% who responded in the negative. China actually came out joint second top, with 64% of respondents coming back in the affirmative. Country of origin is just one aspect of why people buy, but it should be very encouraging in terms of potential for partnerships between the two countries. Gaming, again, maybe less of a driver than in some other more kind of material goods sectors, but there was still a statistically meaningful premium that respondents were prepared to pay for goods from the UK of around 6.4%. So hopefully all encouraging news for people thinking about business development and creating partnerships in the region. As Sam mentioned, it's not easy. It's a hugely sophisticated, deep market with very strong dominant players with vast distribution networks. So I think that kind of really does lean towards having local partners, working with advisors who can help you to penetrate the market. I'll just turn briefly a word on Barclays in Asia. Asia we view as fundamental to our global business. It's a hugely dynamic and diverse market, and increasingly a driver of global trade flows. Barclays has a very diverse business in the region, over 27,000 colleagues based across China, Hong Kong, Singapore, India, Australia, and spanning across all of our global businesses, really. So corporate banking, investment banking, private banking. We help clients to access both the public and private equity and debt capital markets. We help clients explore mergers and acquisition opportunities. We help clients manage risk and invest money, to move money around the world, and to trade with confidence. So within corporate bank, that kind of trading confidence is a part that really resonates for us, and we do that in a number of specific ways, whether that's helping two different buyers and sellers engender trust and be able to trade with each other through the likes of trade collections or bonds, guarantees and indemnities. We help to finance the whole trade cycle through the likes of receivables finance, trade loans. Recently launched Green Trade Loan, which we're very proud of. We work very closely with the UK Export Finance, who also work with the Department of International Trade to help UK Export receive attractive financing terms and payment insurance. And of course, trade finance is not always suitable depending on the nature of the business, but working with your partners overseas, being able to offer them terms in a way that's convenient for them to pay, perhaps in a local currency, is a kind of strong pillar for making sure that you have straightforward negotiations, and that's an area we're very confident we can help. So I'm going to pause there because I'm as excited to get on to the next set of speakers as I think everyone else is. If you're interested in any of the themes of the reports I mentioned, you can get to us through the links that David mentioned, or barclayscorporate.com/insights, or you can find us on LinkedIn, or the hashtag #WhatIsPossible, also on LinkedIn. But otherwise, Sam, thanks for the time. Back over to you.